Welcome, everyone. Chat has spoken, and we are kicking off the week with another premiere draft of Amonkhet Remastered. I was listening to the Limited Resources episode, kind of a Amonkhet Remastered check-in, see where their thoughts were at. I feel like this is where I end up a little behind the community, a little behind the conventional wisdom. A set comes out, I get a little bit of a jump start, especially when it's one of the main sets, and I do the preview stream day, and I can get a little ahead of the world on a new Magic set. But then I only play about once a day. All the rabid drafters, especially many that watch my stream, start drafting the heck out of a set, and they can really get the inside scoop or an understanding of a format before I can. So it's very important for my pride to take a seat and really listen to the community and listen to others who've drafted the format more than me. So, for example, my experience has been that while the aggro has been obvious, we did Amonkhet Remastered for our chat gauntlet last week, not last Friday, but a week ago Friday, and like we all had aggro decks, and it was just aggro. But some of my best results in the format so far have been when I've been ramping to 7 drops, and but I had some very powerful sweepers and mythics in those decks. So maybe it's aggro unless you've got the supercharged power level for the ramp stuff. But I was thinking it was fairly, that the ramp stuff was still pretty viable. And then listening to LR this weekend was like they were pretty much saying it's barely slower than triple Amonkhet, that basically in their experience and in the conventional wisdom of the format right now, it's very aggro. So I think, it seems like if you're not aggro, it's because you've opened something very ridiculous. But then I think our plan is if we're going to lean aggro unless we open something ridiculous. And if we open something ridiculous, then we need to build around it knowing we're going to face tons of aggro. I think that's the key takeaway for me right now, is that if we're not aggro, we certainly need to understand how we're going to contend with a big rush early if we're going to try to cast 7 drops or whatever. So Funky But Loving calls out the number of sweepers. I think that's what lets you get into non-aggro as well, is that you pick up one of these sweepers. And the more I play it, the more I think this has all been part of the deliberate design intent from Wizards of the Coast to both inject constructed formats on Arena with the sweepers that people want for their constructed decks, but also overloading the rare slots with sweepers to the point that sweepers are somewhat uncommonish in terms of their how often they show up. That is one way to put a cap on aggro in a way that you can't just cut you can't cut exert out of the format, right? This is fundamentally an exert format, and you can't do a remaster of Amonkhet that doesn't use exert. And exert is an inherently aggro mechanic. It makes your creatures, well, with the way they've implemented it, doesn't have to be. We've seen a handful of cards like the Pinger and the Token Maker that can exert without attacking. But when fundamentally exert is about an attacking bonus, then it's going to be my creatures are huge on my turn and small on your turn, and it's going to be the same the other way around. That's what happened in Triple Zendikar. That's what creates a fast format. When the nature of your main load-bearing mechanic is that attackers are good and defenders are weak, boom, you're going to have aggro. So anyway, that's where we're at here, and I just wanted to call out how we're going to approach this draft and basically look for aggro unless 6 stupid bomb to take us somewhere else. To take you somewhere else, I'd like you to try my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. You can get stupid bombs from them as well. You pay cash instead of draft picks, but it's more reliable what you're going to end up with in the end. They are incredible at inventory, at customer service, at getting your packages into the mail ASAP, and of course having the greatest buy list in the industry. Truly, if you had to in the dark pick one place to sell your cards to for cash, it would be Card Kingdom. They consistently have the best buy prices in Magic, so if you're looking to convert cards to cash, check them out and do so via my affiliate link. If you visit via my affiliate link, your next couple weeks of interactions with Card Kingdom are registered for my stream, which helps me stay on the air. So please keep that in mind. Now let's go aggro, I guess, or go bomb. Let's see. Maybe we'll bomb with aggro. Flippin' Holly for Mama. Boy, I've been having medium results in this format, I'll tell you that much. Compulsory Rest jumps out at me, starting with a nice removal spell in a favorite color of the format. Rare is just another 2-drop. If I have a 2-drop creature, I think I'd rather have the Avenger, but this is playable. Lord called, and maybe it's, I don't know if it's an easy Lord. Zombies are good enough that I think we could take it, but Compulsory Rest is in the best color and is removal. So I think it's I think it's between Lord and Compulsory Rest. But yeah, we can start here. I guess I'm a little hesitant because I've been having medium time with my zombie decks. They haven't been crushing it, but we'll take the Lord and see what happens here. So I completed that, and 18 with Link. We'll get to that. Dauntless Aven, not a zombie, but a fine card. Ritualist, this is the stuff that's not been working for people that I want to have a reason to go into rather than rush into this. But in fact, I think I'd rather start with just the removal if we were to do that. But Lord of the Accursed, if we're going to be in zombies, it's a black-white deck. If we want to lean a little bit towards our first pick here, we don't really have a sensible black pick. Doomed Dissenter is playable, but not really a second pick. I would rather have Dauntless Aven as a second pick than a Dissenter. This does a lot of tricks with Exert in the format. Let's also not marry this because I'm not seeing, like, you know, what jumps out at me here is a blue desert. Vizier of Deferment hasn't been very good in my experience, but maybe I'm missing it. When enters the battlefield, you may exile target creature if it attacked or blocked this turn. Yeah, so it just kind of, it sneaks an attacker out, but that doesn't seem good. That seems actively bad. I think we just take the desert, or we take a Thresher Lizard, or even a Sacred Cat. Yeah, I think we go with, I think if we're going to get a zombie support card, we take the Kitty. But we could also take Desert. And like I said, Desert's probably the grown-up pick. I'm going to take Desert and be open. Kitty kind of keeps us on this zombie path, but I like the Desert there. Cartouche of Zeal, great for the aggro red plan. I don't know if I want it here. We can just take this Desert. Sting is solid, but I think Desert might be better than Sting. But you do need your removal. I get it. I just don't like this. Like, if you're not excited to put a -1/-1 counter on something because it does good stuff for you, do not underrate the penalty of -1/-1 on a creature. Chat seems super into this lethal Sting. I'll take it. I'll go with chat on this one, but I think we may be. I think Desert may be correct. Yeah, sure. Doomed Dissenter is the best, Haj, but I hate, like, taking this here with, like, well, we're just going to get Doomed Dissenters, and that's going to be our plan. Could take Hieroglyphic Illumination here, and with Desert of the Mindful, pivot towards potentially blue-black control. Call out that green is potentially open. Exemplar is being called. This is in a weird spot, this card. I don't love it. Chat seems to want the Exemplar. I'm nervous about green, but I'll take it. We'll see. Driven to Despair. Well, green-black could play Driven to Despair, and there's not much else going on here. Countervailing Winds, though, is not bad. in support of the desert we took. Naga is fine, but I think we'd run Driven to Despair in a green-black deck. If that's where we end up, we'll be happy to have taken that. But I'm not married to the green-black, although we're not really getting the zombie hookup, and we're getting a Ritualist here. So we're going to take the Ritualist. Even though I said we're leaning aggro, the table's not really giving it to us. And we are getting some light stuff pushing towards kind of a green-black. So I think we take the Ritualist, and we certainly look out for bombs after the fact. I mean, this helps, right? This is a pretty good follow to the Ritualist, honestly. We'll take that. Cutting this Aven. And what else have we got here? Vizier, Scarab Feast for just... well, this is pretty good, right? This is annoying enough. Let's take the Eternal of Harsh Truths. Maybe we'll be base green, blue, splash black. It is a zombie. Forget that zombies are blue around here. Wow, Unquenchable Thirst still in the pack says, yeah, we're base green, blue, I guess. Just trying to draft the hard way here and listening to the table. Reduced to rubble, though. Bad mana leak. Doesn't seem great. We can take strategic planning. Quarry Hauler. Yeah, Wall actually does some stuff, I suppose. If we're playing a little bit more controlling here, this is going to be fine. Hold off some of those early beats. Pouncing Cheetah versus Compelling Argument. This, to me, is just like cycle 1. But I think I'd rather have a cycle 1 than a Pouncing Cheetah. Although, they're whatever. This is a great sign. I almost took this the first time around, so... Certainly found our seat. That's nice. We are green-blue. What are we going to do with it? We're not going to take on any new perspectives. Despite it being an on-color rare, it is not really for us. We've got Supreme Will for us, or Cartouche. Blue Cartouche is nice in a green deck. We can expect to get some other fat, in which case launching it into the air is pretty nice. Math Core is into the Croc. I think the Croc is fine, but it's ultimately a big ground beater. I like that Will counters or draws depending on what you need for that turn. I'm going to take I think Cartouche, while good in blue-green because of the ability to end up on a large green creature, is nice. I would rather have the Will here. Trial of Knowledge. Here's a Cartouche we could take. We also have an Essence Scatter and a Vizier. Vizier, not really what we want to do. Trial is interesting, but we already have a hieroglyphic Illumination and a Supreme Will. So we don't really need this as a start. I think this is where I'll take a Cartouche. Or there's an Essence Scatter, though. People want the Cartouche. I'm enamored, though, with the Essence Scatter. I think this is probably better for us. I'll take the Cartouche. Chat seems to really want the Cartouche, but I'm thinking Essence Scatter with where we're at would have probably been better there. Sixth Sense is interesting with presumably flyers. 6 cents on a Hoopu attack, draw, and then draw again. But yeah, we'll go with another Ritualist, I think, over the 2-drop. We got a decent chunk of 2s. Really want to find something to do with these Ritualists, though. Right now, just give me even a 7/7 with cycle 2, right? Just something. Something 7 mana and big. Cthulhu calls 6 cents on the 1/2 unblockable. Not sure. So here, maybe Desert over another Cartouche. And then over a third Ritualist. Yeah, I like... Although you can make an argument for the black desert. We do want to splash black, I think. Well, maybe not. We could end up not in black, but I guess just on-color desert is better than a splash desert. That's something to still be here. Apparently, aggro red is fine. Open fire, though, probably our pick. We can splash anything. Naga said that Naga is solid, but this is so replaceable, whereas open fire is very splashable for us, given the ritualists, and I'm going to take it. Yeah, wilds would be nice too, but I'm gonna grab removal. More illumination or a sniper, if we really wanted to do that. I think we just want illumination, and we're going to try and be controlling here. Tron wants the sniper. I just don't know how heavy black we are, and sniper really wants to come down early to do its thing. Getting a little loaded at 4, but we could handle another one with the Oracle here. I mean, our other option is like strategic planning or Deliverance. I mean, if this were a true naturalize, I'd be into it, but artifacts are present, but not in enough quantities that I'd be happy to run that. Well, looks like we're in the right place, though. We've got, you know, 7 cards left in this pack, and 6 of them could slot into our deck. But yeah, let's go with another Supreme Will. Slitherblade. Maybe we want a companion over another ritualist. This is where we got to be looking at curve as well as just power level. There's a whole other pack to go to get ritualists as well, and people seem uninterested. So I'm going to take a companion narrowly over the, not narrowly, cleanly over the Slitherblade, which, while yes, it could wear an enchantment or whatever, is not really leaping out at me as important. Don't know if this is worth splashing, but we'll grab it and see. Vizier of Remedies, whatever, Vault Progress there. Cycling if we were desperate, although could also take Tormenting Voice. I think I'd rather play a Tormenting Voice over that Cycler. Seer can see our sideboard. Mummy, not good enough here. Grind to Dust. Well, we could probably make this work. We have the double Ritualist, and we may find more given how under drafted they were. But we also just have a struggle. We're looking to cast Open Fire anyway. Might not even play any mountains, though. I mean, basically, if we're talking about Ritualist-style splashing, you can kind of splash anything. What do you think? Grind to Dust for the Super Greed? Struggle for more normal levels of greed? Or like a Hoodie B? Kind of like, yeah, I think I'm going to go with the struggle. That was a close one for me, but I do feel like we're closer to red as our prime splash than black with just Lethal Sting and Lord. Sphinx, though, is good for us. It's a win condition at least. Another Supreme Will. We can just call this Motown. Hoodie B. Aerial Guide. How good is the Drake? In our deck, not good enough, I don't think. Is it? Maybe. I guess we're doing some stuff. I feel like we should just take Hoodie B if we're doing that. But maybe we can Drake it. Sure. I'm going to take Hoodie B. I bet we wheel one of those uncommons, and we'll certainly take another Hoopu. Wilds jumps out at me here, although we could take a red desert. Red desert, super tempting. Evolving Wilds, super tempting. I think less about the black splash here. I think we are suddenly teamer. I'm going to pass the desert and take the fixing in a tough choice. Ugh, if I'd known this Evolving Wilds were coming, I think I would have taken the other land there. We could take a Rivulet, but this is like the desert you don't want, really. Labyrinth Guardian is perfectly fine. So is Spellweaver Eternal, honestly, but we're a little bit more defensive, so I'm going to get the Guardian. Wow, okay, great. Pick 7, we still get to choose between Aerial Guide and Essence Scatter. Aerial Guide, boy, this is depressing me, though. The Ritualist with nowhere to go. We're not ramping to anything. We didn't find a single 7/7, you know? Yeah, it's true. I guess I'll take a creature for being able to try and win this game somehow. Unquenchable Thirst. More removal, that's good. I wouldn't mind the Sharpshooters either, but removal, yes, please. Desert comes around. So does the Hoodie Bee. We can take a second Hoodie Bee. Kind of feel like we do need to be a bit of a tempo-oriented deck here, but I do love this Desert. I think another Hoodie, though, is where we want to be. Ramanap for just the Evolving Wilds isn't enough for me. Fiddles. I don't think it was... So here's another opportunity to Sharpshooters. We also have a Countervailing Winds if we want to add to our ability to counter some stuff. But yeah, we're low on our top end. We just have 1/5, so we'll take another 5. Supreme Will does come around. So does the Aerial Guide. So does the Drake. We can have it all. I kind of like just Supreme Will. Triple... I think it's just because I want to call it Motown. We'll take a Prowler, sure. Although maybe this is a Crab deck. Nah, let's Prowl. I don't think we're probably playing either one. Well, this was my problem with going with these Ritualists, right? Like I was saying, you want to find the bomb and then support it with Ritualists. Instead, we kind of got forced into green or led into green and took some Ritualists on the spec. And yeah, that's true. I guess the Ritualists do help, you know, we can ramp to drawing cards. No, sorry, I cashed it in and then lied here. He's back. Everybody's favorite. Gadan Moore pointing out there isn't much to ramp into, but you're just naming the commons. Like, I mean, Riverwinder and Sandworm are common. Sifter is uncommon. And then, of course, there's many rares we could have lucked into, but really just wanted to get some Sandworms. So, 5 cuts, it looks like. What are we doing? How are we doing on creatures? 16. So we can cut some do we cut Driven to Despair? We do have some attackers. I think I'm going to cut the Driven. And Compelling Argument obviously can go. I think Prowler can go. with I know Luis was talking about deserts allowing you to stretch your mana, but with our curve and our fixers and rampers, I like 16 here. Yeah, I guess I was thinking we were a little more controlling when I had this in the deck, but I think you're right. It's actually not what we're doing. We're kind of doing tempo. I say tempo, but really it's blue-green card draw mid-range. Seven, 5, 6, 7. That. Dub's all right. Is that possible? Maybe that's not reasonable. Oh, that's 4, 5, 6, 7 blue sources. What do you think? Help me make these last cuts. I could cut a Supreme Will, I guess. Yeah, I guess I was thinking in terms of Ritualist, but Ritualist is not really fixing our blue. That's fair. So we'll do it this way. And that's still pretty good. 8 green sources to 8. We got 8 and 8 that way. Yeah, 7, 14. This is 16 lander if we want to do 16 land, which I think, again, we can get away with Hieroglyphic, Cycler, and Ritualist. But maybe I'm being greedy, but let's be greedy, Motown. Anybody redeem any coolness? No, let's go for... my choice, then. +1 bounce. To see what bounce you're talking about. I'm going to play 3 Supreme Wills just so I can be the Supremes. It's literally for the name. And then after one game, we can... anyway, let's go. Oh wait, I want to go here. How about let's use some cool jumpstart lands. This is cool. Dino Land and Lightning Mountain. All right. We'll see how it goes. We'll make some edits after this. I've heard call for 17 land. I might be being greedy on that front with the hieroglyphics, but I'm going to start here just to get playing, but let's go tune it after this game. You can tell me how we're going to do here. Easy game. This hand sucks. I've got 2 River Hoopus and their abilities are redundant. Teamer Tron on 3, you know it. We can open fire if they give us a target. We can hoopoo number 2 if they don't. Is that a target? Well, with Eternal of Harsh Truths, I'm going to say no, we have a new plan now. It's going to force this Entangler to exert if it's going to be able to get through for an attack. And if it does attack and they don't kill the Eternal, we have this open fire to set up clearing the way for this on a crackback. Yeah, I'm surprised to see the desert. It's possible that I mean, this is a good player. I don't usually play the Sunscorched Desert, but if they have like Sand Stranglers but didn't get the deserts they needed to turn it on reliably, I could see running Sunscorched Desert. Or if they're mono red, maybe they found mono red, in which case you can easily throw in these colorless lands. So don't usually expect to see this from a good player. So when I do, I assume they have one of those corner cases where it's correct. Yeah, I think the mono red and the desert angle might both be in play here. I'm going to open fire that Crasher eventually, but we can certainly start by attacking both here. Because now we can drop Ritualist, which blocks the Entangler. The Crasher stays down for 1 turn, and then we're going to kill this Crasher before it has the ability to falter our Ritualist again. No, 2 color, so the mono red is not the case. Could just be that Snorri Nosebiter here thinks that the extra damage is worth it. I think it's really harsh. Like, who knows, maybe if this were a swamp instead of a desert, they would have cast something extra sweet by now, although Entangler into Crasher seems fine. Okay. So now we have 7 mana available to us, and with it, we could make another Hoopoo and a Sphinx. We could just leave this on defense and make it, although it looks like we can't make a Sphinx without tapping the Ritualist, unfortunately. Yeah, I should have attacked, and then if there was watch me attack, and there'll be an island on top just to punish me for my hasty land plays. Everybody knows that's one of my leaks. We can send in the Eternal. If they throw on 2 creatures to block, we have the open fire at the ready. So let's send in Eternal and River Hoopoo that's not going to be blocking. Although, I guess it could threaten to block. No, it's not blocking any of these. Yeah, Hoopoo plus Crasher seems fine as well, and then leaving Ritualist back. But I like sending these. More cards for us if we have the luxury at some point, but I like the plan of untapped Ritualist for defense and Hoopoo number 2 to threaten some defense, and then open fire. We might even put Hoopoo on the Burning Fist Minotaur and then open fire it, although we really just have to open fire the Crasher before combat, so we'll do that. Right. Well, they only get 1. Well, I should let this land. Who knows what they might do something else. 2 Crashers in an aggro format is some good. And unfortunately, the Hoopoo is not going to be enough to block the other Crasher, so we're going to take a smack here as the Ritualist is not going to block. I really think we had it. We had a good spot if we only had the one crasher, but a second crasher is just devastating. We're going to take so much damage here. I mean, it's possible, David, but I think that's unlikely. All right, well, not giving us much choice here. We might lose a Hoopu, but pretty easy block on the initiate at least. And let's make sure we don't just die. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 9, 10. We're not dead to this, so we try. Shocker. Can you believe it? That's all right. We were trying to draw out for removal or a trick. You know, we were just trading for whatever they had, and that's what they had. And we have a backup Hoopu anyway. Hopefully, Bitter Bow, Ritualist, and On-Crop down for the turn are going to be enough. I don't think we have time to cash this in for cards, so I'm going to cycle it right now. Let's see. Do we send the Eternal? Or do we need... These are staying down. This can become unblockable, so there's no sense in holding anything back except something that can stop the Initiate. And we can actually do that off of just playing a land and playing a 5-drop, so I'm actually going to swing everything here. Although we could also leave this Ritualist up and have the ability to cycle the Desert at the end of turn. That's true. We're just dead to that. So how do we... I guess we have to cycle then. Well, we need to attack and then cycle. Try to find something for the Minotaur. So then we'll leave everything back. We can also gain life off the Hoopu. But let's start with an attack with the Eternal. Can't do the Sphinx because I need to gain life, I think. That's what I was feeling here, although we might still just be dead to that. Gotta make him do it, though. They might be too... Yeah, the thing is they can pump it twice, so none of these plans solve the double pump. Interesting. So if I don't activate the Hoopu, we can accept the 2. I don't know what's going on here, but we have to accept that.
Archer! What? God!
I also owe you one of these here, too.
What do you mean, Flash Gordon approach? Open fire!
Trying to find some answers, but we're really just not getting there in time. We have technically 2 mana here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8 or 9, depending on whether we want to exert. We need 5 of it to draw and gain 2, but that leaves us with 3 or 4 left, which we could use on a second Ritualist. Well, I thought we were dead last time, and they decided not to kill us, so... Wow, Spiders Spiders thinks the memes are done. Oh yeah, we're probably dead, but I'm gonna make him do it. Boy, this is just so... I have not been having great results in this format, I gotta tell you. Whether it's on air or off air. On air stuff you all have seen where I've had mixed bag play that has contributed to it, but I just feel like this is one of those formats that's just getting me. Oh man, I have to... That's on a different panel set, David. Candygram. There you go, I'll give you that. Asteroids feeling it too. Somebody out there has been crushing it. We can't all have been struggling. We can't all be struggling, right? All right, so... Of course, we're gonna block some stuff. I mean, all they need to do is ditch 2 cards to the Minotaur, but they don't seem interested in killing me. I don't know why. We're gonna accept it. Oh, sorry, I miscounted. My bad. I thought I did the block math. I think I was going to lose that anyway, but that was a punt. Obviously, I was supposed to block there. I just thought I had all the incoming covered. I don't think that was going to change the outcome, but obviously we try to give ourselves one more draw. Do we want to... Well, I intentionally didn't activate the Hoopu. So just to be clear, assuming I had blocked everything, there was... If I activated the Hoopu, it would give Oppo a chance to respond and discard to the Minotaur. So... Well, I don't think we had the win. As I said, it's certainly a legitimate, you made a mistake on that turn, but I don't think that was a mistake that changed the outcome of the game at all. That's true. After first strike could have activated, but to what end? What, you know, why, Nanduff? Like, why are we just so eager to activate? Do we want to change anything? Haven't been unhappy with the lands so far, but that's not a reason we shouldn't add a little more. Trouble is we're not overloaded with deserts. It's like if we had 3 or 4 deserts, I would feel like a higher land count to take advantage of that would be better. Not much to work with here. We're either talking about bringing in Wall or, you know, Driven to Despair, that kind of thing. Somebody said pull something and add bounce, but I don't know what bounce we would be talking about. Anyway. I think I'm just going to run it back for now. I'll take suggestions. But whatever, this is just my life with this format. I don't expect to win any games ever. It's just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong or whether it's just a bad run or what, but man, cannot win for garbage in this format. Let's turn it around, though. More Teamertron makes me want to hold this desert for the cycle. Yeah, I'm going to keep and do that. Dongo took the weekend off. Sometimes that's what you need to do. Just put it all aside. We could also cycle Hieroglyphic. I think we might be able to cast that, hard cast that here, so we're going to try that. And great, 4th land means we can cycle this desert away without concern. It does turn on the Unquenchable Thirsts, so we can just tap this Avenger down. I think stopping 3 damage here is worth it. It's what we're, trying to use cheap removal to survive, so we can make it to a game where we can leverage our card advantage. Naga. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Kind of just want all this, don't we? Although I don't think we don't even need the Ritualist, which is funny. Although if we're drawing this many cards, I suppose we do. We're just going to want to be able to ramp. Do we want this Eternal? Right now, it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's going to stay good. And they maybe they'll use removal on it. We got this next turn. Eternal plus, yeah, I'm gonna actually go submit 0. I want all these. And then we're gonna put Eternal on top to 2 spell next turn, into Ritualist, into more card draw. I think I like that. I'll only have 1 blue, so I guess my my 2 spell plan is not so great. That's good though. I'm glad they're using that on that, and now that makes me want to just throw out the sharpshooters. Like I didn't want to run out the big 5-drop when they were gonna potentially finish it, but now that finish is gone, we'll just play the Vigilant Reach. Note, Oppo is short land, so if they stay stuck, we want to try... Oh, ouch. Good job, Oppo. Ouch. Screw beats flood, they say, so we want to try and... Let's get this Ritualist going. Hey, Scani, no, this is just against randos on the system. So, 5, 6, 7... That means next turn, even with... it's not even the worst. Like, the Ritualist was going to help us cast some stuff, but that was not our most important card. I'll take all this card draw over it. But eventually, they're going to find land, unlock all these cards, and we're going to really need to hope that these two catch us back up on the card game. That helps, too. If a single land would allow me to play the Eternal, I would do that, but it doesn't, so I'm just going to play the Harsh Truths without the ability to cycle. Like, we're just choked on blue here, so hopefully Illumination on 4 next turn, or an attack with an Eternal finds us another island. Oppo's been mono removal, though, so I don't see why anything should ever work out for us. All right, that is kind of working out for us. Don't need to do anything here. They don't have the power to kill the Eternal, so their choice is to take 2. Like, we get 2 no matter what. Excuse me. We could open fire the Anointer Priest and then probably just get the card out of it. But cards aren't the problem here. I'm going to attack and see what they want to do. Probably just throw the Anointer Priest in front for take 2. And then I like a Illumination here. We're not going to be able to cast that open fire. Whereas if we find an island, we can consider the Unquenchable Thirst. Let's draw some cards. true, but I don't want to go... Well, we take a look at the lands. Bottom line is we have tight mana. Maybe that's a reason to go to 17, just to add that extra source without reducing a source somewhere else. Gust Walker. Maybe if we send in now, they'll actually try and kill with a block. So we could send in... it's not going to block. Yeah, I'm going to actually attack with the Eternal. And then we have Exemplar with Open Fire up. Open Fire / Will. I like that. We could just kill the Eternal and have an immediate 4/4. Nah. With the Supreme Will, we can counter just about anything they do here. And then Open Fire plus Thirst at the ready on our next turn should allow for both of our creatures to have successful combat. And in this case, though, let's just counter via Open Fire. We can kill the Anointer Priest and counter the Cartouche by knocking the creature out from underneath it. Hey, we're talking about needing some islands. I like it. I'm going to play it. I sometimes play lands too hastily, but island is exactly what we've been looking for, so I'm just going to throw that out there. And then Unquenchable Thirst on Gust Walker allows for good attacks here, so I'm going to start there. And then we have Illumination plus Supreme Will, and we'll hold those up rather than play the Companion. Yeah, Desert's in a graveyard. Aerial Guide is reasonable, but I still don't think we should play anything when we have Supreme Will against a mana-screwed opponent. Counter whatever they do here, basically, and it's going to be hard for them to get back in this. That can't be countered, but that's okay. If they don't do anything, we get to just Illumination at the end of turn. So we could counter that. But it doesn't stop anything we're doing, so I'm going to let that happen. I say it doesn't stop anything we're doing, which is to say if they kept both of these back, both of these are still good attacks. That was the fundamental decision point there. That we still get good attacks next turn. So we'll let them have it. Six mana, we can go Brawler, hold up Will, or Aerial Guide, hold up Will. Maybe Aerial Guide is better. It'll just start launching the Exemplar. So I'm going to send in and then play Aerial Guide and hold up Will. We could add Hoodie B to increase the clock, but I rather keep the double will to protect the clock we have created. Oppo did not unlock lands in time. We had a pretty good draw. I don't know how this game would play out if they got a little luckier on their mana. But again, I don't see why I should counter that when we're going to Aerial Guide for 6 plus 2 here. Like, there's just no reason to do that. We're going to Supreme Will for cards. And sure, we'll take another Supreme Will. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Now that was Martha and the Vandellas, but it's still Motown, right? Let's see. Maybe I want to reconsider the mana for a second. Could cut a Supreme Will for one more island. Or what? If not that, what? Like Naga Oracle? How are we doing on creature count? This has been okay. But I'm going to cut the Oracle. It goes down to 13 creatures, but we're doing some cycling and drawing and etc. I think that's fine. Blood Meridian asking where most of my gems have come from. Honestly, it's just steady as she goes through all formats. I haven't super crushed any given format, I don't think. I did pretty well in Ikoria, but it's been average. It's just about steady marching. Yeah, gem winnings from Gauntlet. Don't think so. All right. Let's try that. Yeah, I'm pretty good at Dominaria, but certainly not where my, quote, gems have come from, right? Cartouche not great in our deck. Honestly, we don't have huge beef to throw this on, but still fine. We're going to keep here. If we find a 2-drop, great. If not, well, we'll counter their 3. Yeah, Dominaria wasn't great to me last time, although just by my standards. I mean, if you look at my overall win-loss, it was just below my expectation. Nice, found a 2. That feels good. Get this River Hoopoe down and have Supreme Will up for turn 3. Find a land for a Ritualist on 4. Fluffy asks, do you prefer powered cubes, high-powered cubes, or low-powered cubes? Yes. I prefer variety, right? I've said that Vintage Cube is like my favorite format, but only in the right amount. I wouldn't want to do Vintage Cube forever. Hoopoe seems to be holding back the Mummy. We are a little more controlling. Maybe I shouldn't trade 1 for 1, but with Supreme Wills at the ready, I think we have enough, like this, maybe get a Cartouche. I'm going to go ahead and attack. Look, we can actually make a Sarah Angel with the Cartouche. Really hoping they don't play anything we need to cast so that we can Supreme Will for cards and find our 4th land. But if... Ooh, so that's a little more damage than I'm comfortable with. It does go shields down for their turn 4. We do have Ritualist hopefully coming up to just snap block a Pouncing Cheetah, so maybe I shouldn't counter it. I'm going to let it happen. We take a lot of damage here, but Supreme Will is nice because if they go for something else, we can still counter it. If they don't, we can still look for land. So with a 2/4 about to hit the battlefield, I just didn't feel like I could justify countering a 3/2. And yeah, we'll go ahead and counter that and hope we find a land. those can attack through Ritualists or try to trade with Ritualists. We did find our land. That's great. Now, I'm going to say no attacks since they didn't... I mean, they have the Oasis, but that's sorcery speed. And earlier in the game, they did not attack Mummy into Hoopu, so Hoopu on Mummy was a good block earlier. Let's see if Oppo still thinks it is. Interesting. So we can double block and 1-for-1. What do we care about that? If they choose Ritualist, we still have another Ritualist. If they choose Hoopu, we can cast Bitterbow and get a cartouche on it. I think we do take the 2-for-1. I like drawing cards. They probably take out the Hoopu because it's so long game threatening, and then we'll still get our sharpshooters. And our worst case is that we replay a Ritualist here and still have a Hoopu, so I'll take it. All right. Now we got 7. We can actually go sharpshooters and put the cartouche on it so that it blocks Defiant Great Maw right now. Normally I like to use enchantments or auras when I'm going to get in, so at least get in once, but this replaces itself, so it's fine. I think we do that. If they're out of removal, this is a hot card right here. Flying Vigilance, reach 5/5. It can reach to the high flyers, I guess. They're being very careful with their mana. Let's see what it's going to be. That we can handle. Little ramp. But the fact that they were so keen to go get their 5th land makes me think maybe we're up against a final whatever, you know, removal spell. So I want to hold up Supreme Will here. We're just going to try and protect our 5/5. Yeah, we're close. Next turn, if we have the Ritualist, we can use the Ritualist to cast something and still have Supreme Will. But right now, if things don't change, our sharpshooters just get there. So let's make Oppo find a way through here. Doomed Dissenter, not a concern. Baleful Amonkhet. That's going to kill the Dissenter, and it's not going to have great attacks. But I think we can say no on it. I mean, yeah, lifelink, but we have a Vigilant 5/5. It's not like it can attack into the 5/5. But if they find removal, then we're just in deep trouble with that. So I do like countering it. Because if they find removal and we've countered this, then we can come back and Sphinx our way with a backup plan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. I like Sphinx Eternal here after we attack with the 5/5. You want to let that go? My problem is, I mean, we could wait and try to counter the removal or whatever, but if we do lose the sharpshooters, a 4/3 lifelinker really starts to take over that game. So right now we just win. So that's cool. There we go, 9 in the air. All right, 2 wins. Back from the opening game loss to climb back to a positive record at least. Playing a top mythic player here. Well, top mythic, a mythic player. We'll keep this, though. Looks good as a place to start. I see how it's going to be. We'll run out a 1-3 instead of a 3-1 in the face of Sniper. Might have to use some removal on the Sniper, we'll see. Can't really block. Now they're one cycle away from just being able to take out the Hoopu if we block. So we're going to keep on holding on to the Hoopu, hoping that it draws us some cards and gains some life later. Probably just holding up the Supreme Will here. We throw the Companion down, they cycle and kill it. We don't have anything. We don't have the mana to open fire, and I don't like Unquenchable Thirst, either of these. We'll say no attacks, because obviously attacking with 0 power doesn't do much. Still got to pass, unless we don't care about the River Hoopu, but I think we still do. Try and counter something here. Yeah, all right, no counter. I'm not going to not do anything, though. I'm going to go ahead and look for top 4. Find some answers, find some red. Here's some red. You can also just take the Ritualist and get red that way. Thank you for that sub. World Hates Paul. Appreciate it. What do you think? Are we just taking the Ritualist or the straight Mountain? I'm leaning Ritualist. But Mountain lets us open fire like next turn. But we're not even under that much pressure. They got 3 cards left. So yeah, I'm going to take Ritualist. And send it out. Maybe killing the River Hoopu here with a double cycle. Well, if we can untap with the Ritualist, I'm taking out that Sniper. I think, yeah, we'll have to. Ooh, we can just kill the Hoopu for a big Exemplar, and we still get to open fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana we have if we want it. So we could go open fire, Unquenchable Thirst, Exemplar for a pretty sweet turn. Now, we don't have the desert yet, so this won't tap, but we could still make it so that if it attacks, they get 1 attack. We could also just go Companion, Exemplar, open fire. Let's go, let's do this. Kill this. And now we can Companion. Can play this Exemplar. The question is now that Hoopu could start drawing us cards, so maybe we don't want to minus the Hoopu. We could minus the Ritualist. Let's do that. The Ritualist doesn't care. It does its thing as an 0-1, right? So I'm going to make the Ritualist into a minus whatever 1. Monument, white monument being played in a deck without white, it seems. So that shows you what people think of that card. All right, well, now we'll throw this down. And I'm going to offer, let's see, this could become big enough for, on one cycle, I'm going to risk it. Let's see if they've got, I mean, I didn't sense a pause, so I'm going to risk it. All right, maybe I'm wrong and they have the cycle. Nope, that's what I wanted. Just a trade is fine. So we kind of have, well, let's start with a cycle of the desert, and then we still have play land, activate Hoopu if we don't find anything here. Instead, we have draw 2. I'm going to keep playing out. Do we have it all? Let's see. 5, 6, 7. No, we don't have it all unless we want to just cycle this. Exemplar probably just gets chumped by the doomed dissenter. If they wanted to give up aerial guide, they could take out our exemplar. I think I'd be down with that, so I'm gonna send in with exemplar. Although maybe we just need it to block at this point. These two don't block well, and we're gonna be taking 3 in the air. And if we attack and they can jump with a dissenter, we take 4 in the air. So I'm gonna say no attacks, and I'm gonna actually do main phase illumination in case of a spell we might want to cast. You want to use Hoopu? Get 1 card? The reason I'm thinking Illumination is that with 4 mana, we actually have 3 mana left over. Like, we probably get to cast something that we draw. Whereas if we draw 1 card off of Hoopu, we gain some life, but we're probably not doing anything this turn. And I don't think we're just dead. So I'm going to go with my gut and draw 2 with 3 mana up instead of drawing 1 with 2 mana up. And so now I can play the Hoodie Bee, which is what I'm going to do. Sphinx is nice for us if we can keep it alive. Horror is a bit scary with a heavy cycling deck. It can get very big very fast. I'm going to keep playing lands, though, because we got the Hoopu, and we're going to drop our Sphinx. And 4 is not enough to get a card. Oh, sorry, we only have 3. We could exert the Brawler. What does exerting Brawler get us? Yeah, I'm gonna say we're back on D anyway, though. This comes down to whether or not this Sphinx is gonna live for us or not, I think. And if our Hoopu can start actually taking over. So not great. And we only really have one choice here, which is to block the aerial guide, hope they don't have anything in their cards for this, and that at least the horror drops down to the ground after this. They could go cycle once, cycle twice, and we could lose. But I also think we can't... Yeah, double cycling is sure possible. To that end, we could chump the Hoopu and make sure we don't die here, but then we lose out on this recovery plan. And if we lose out, I kind of want to... Thing is that they're a good player with a deck built around this cycling mechanic. So it is quite possible if we don't find the block here, we just lose. But also, let's say they have double cycle. How do we actually win? I guess in that point we're chumping with the Hoopu, and then they just save the double cycle for later. So I know that we could die here, and it's even maybe reasonably likely. Like, it's not even something that would surprise me if it happened. But if we don't, if they have those and we don't block here, I think we're just in trouble to the stuff on the ground then anyway. So I'm gonna make this block and cross fingers, but we might lose right here. But it's an informed decision that we have decided to do. So they went bottom, so that part's good. Ah, they got the discard. Funny. Not how I thought they would do it, but tip the cap. That's all right. We made them have it, but they did. Weird deck from Oppo, but did its thing. The cycling deck is not one I've had come together at all for me, like never. The pieces have just not been there, or at least I've not gotten into it at the right times. All right, 2 and 2. Let's see if we can't at least get a break-even record. Rough opener, getting harmed by our Singleton Mountain here. If this is an island, we are just pretty thrilled with this hand. Or even if this is an island, honestly. But as it is, Oppo on the play even. I guess we have to mulligan, though. I'm going to be grown up. We're going to keep this and be mad. Let's see. Got to keep Ritualist and Brawler. We could be greedy and pitch a land, knowing that we need to find some other lands in order to get there. But any land gives us a Ritualist on 4. So then we got to get rid of one of our blue cards. And I think we get rid of the Guardian, given that it is unlikely that we're going to cast it on 2. And maybe we cast Supreme Will later. I think this matters later. This matters more on turn 2. Show me the island on top. Of course, I keep the Guardian, but without the guarantee of an island, I'm going to go with Supreme Will as the thing we keep. We did real K-Mob. I took out the 2/4 Naga and put in another island. Found a 2-drop, that's good. Unfortunately, finding lands we don't want in a 4th forest. But hey, gets us Ritualist, so this is a great card. Gruzmog, I often do that. I often take the risk on discarding a land. You'll see me very frequently pitching a 3rd land and keeping a 2 on a mulligan. It was just that in this case, we really needed to find our other colors, and we had 3 mana and Ritualist in hand, and I didn't want to break up the likelihood of a turn 4 Ritualist. We can go Hoodie B. Certainly don't want to send in the companion. It just, the champ would happily trade with it, because the champ just wants to die anyway. We could, let's just make a Hoodie B then. Maybe something will get quenched with thirst and we can exemplar that, you know. Well, blue-black, main deck, when I see main deck Scarab Feast, I just assume they're doing more cycling payoffs. Certainly looks to be the case here. Interesting attack. I would be leaving Champ of Wits back to continue threatening the companion, but maybe they have other things to do here that make that attack quite sensible. I mean, that's pretty good. But Hoodie B gets to exert into it, and then we play Ritualist. Didn't we just face this? Is this the same dang opponent? No. Rough, though. Good time zone, Fantasia. Welcome. Hopefully our Ritualist survives, and next turn, if we find a land, we have 7 mana. For 7 mana, we can... can't do anything extra special. For 6, we can play Hoodie and keep Supreme Will up. You could also go Hoodie Exemplar without having to exert the Ritualist. Oppo looking for hollow victories. That's supremely frustrating, but we do have 6 mana. I think we just play Hoodie B and have Supreme Will up now. Boy, we are just getting sniped today. Losing to the same deck back-to-back here. We haven't lost yet, but that is a troubling sight, especially with the Curator happening. Supreme Will wouldn't even have countered it if we tried. And we're getting hit for 8, and really our only choice is to trade Ritualist for Hollow One, which we can't well, we could throw Ritualist and Hoodie. Actually, I like Ritualist. Nah, I guess Sniper is really dangerous here. If they multi-cycle, we could get really blown out. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and also with what's Hat saying, at the very least, we can cast the Supreme Will to find an island for the other one if we do this. I'm going to block. We're under pressure here. We're up against a flyer. We can't stop right now. We can't just take this extra damage on the ground and expect to win this one. Right now, we're taking 4 in the air that we can't stop. So, got to take some risk to try and not lose to the clock up in the air there. Struggle and open fire. I guess we take... unfortunately can't cast any of that, right? So we just need another Ritualist? Yikes. That's not what we wanted to see. But I guess we have to... Well, actually we might need to take Struggle or open fire and just hope we find our fixing more directly. Although it's all going to need a turn, right? Unless we find our mountain. Except this actually, I'm going to take the Struggle. There's a chance we find what we need to cast it on top. And in a sense, if we don't cast this quickly, we're in trouble anyway. I don't know. I can't... this format, it's really been sad trombone for me like every event. This is just what I do. 2-3 is like my, quote, bread and butter in this format. Well, sometimes your crazy desperation plans come together. We'll take it. Question is, do we even play the Exemplar given given the Sniper? But let's start here. And we can shuffle everything in. I think we... exert one, leave the other back. Trouble is, these are terrible blockers. I think that's where Hoodie B has been really weak in the format relative to normal. You don't really play aggro green all that much, and it's not a good blocker. It can trade up sometimes. We could turn a Brawler into an Exemplar, yes, and that is one thing I'm thinking about. And probably, maybe that's what we have to do. So let's send one, or maybe even send both. I'm sending both exerted. And then we will exemplar one of them away. Or, yeah, they'll shrink at the end of the turn and die. If we can find an island off the top, we might even have time to Supreme Will this Champion of Wits. And I feel like when I get Ruthless Sniper, nothing. Oppos get Ruthless Sniper, wreck entire team. I guess we play this tapped and we shuffle to do something. Gets our removal spell back in the deck. Oh no, it's I guess it exiles that one. Never mind. We do not get another chance at struggle. Huh, that actually worked out. They were probably going to go for getting back a bunch of stuff here, and instead we got rid of their graveyard. Funny, we also got rid of the Champ of Wits, which they then drew back. You'd think getting rid of their champ in the graveyard would be good for us, but and it still probably is, but it's just funny that they got it right back. We need help. Help! Wow. I think we have to go for it. Illumination, looking for something. All right, we can do it. It's the thing we can cast. Now, if they're just out of cycling, we'll be fine. They're always out of cycling, so should be no problem here. Whoa. I'm saying that just because they're not attacking with these. Maybe they are actually out of cycling. Well, we're not going to block. We're going to be happy it seems to be holding off the rest of their stuff. Let's go get another blue source here before doing any Supreme Will stuff. But I think we're going to have to do Supreme Will here as well. Kind of same thing of needing to do something potentially in our main phase and don't have time to hope that we're going to counter something good. Gotta find something good off the top. Another Supreme Will. We'll take a Hoodie B that I don't love, but is the best thing we've got here. For trying to put up a defense. So if we attack them down to 7... Technically, we present lethal next turn. The trouble is they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so they present lethal Kraken back, so we can't. Again, we're kind of playing like they don't have cycling and they're not gonna. So, I mean, if they swing away, we're in bad shape. It probably means they found some cycling. But if they don't, we just have to play like they don't have cycling. We have to play like they don't have cycling no matter what. Basically. And that means trying to trade off Hoodie B here, but not the champ, I think. I don't know what meme that is. I don't have a meme of cycling deck out of cycling here. Here's your, I mean, What do you want me to play? I don't have that clip. That's you all. There you go. Anyway, back to this. Do we aerial guide on champ? What's our plan if we trade for the champ? They just find another land and then we're up against a champ back. So how are you gonna do this? But here, I'll give you one of the new ones for fun. Don't close your screen then, Haj. You want that same one, or do you want a different one? Man, do we have exile removal? I guess we have unquenchable thirst. Maybe the thing to do here is actually bounce off the insight and draw an unquenchable thirst. Like, that's the way we solve the champ. If we trade with the champ, we're just going to lose to the champ. So I think our only out is to take 2 and hope we have a quench off the top. I mean, I don't know what your line what's your line, Haj, if not that? It's like we lose no matter what. I mean, what's the plan? If your real plan is that we allow a champion of wits to eternalize into a 4/4 next turn, that doesn't work either. I mean, and is there... Well, let's make him do it. I think this is all she wrote, though. This is just how it's going for me, I'm telling you. I'm Mr. 2-3. You want to know what my record was in that last Amonkhet Remastered event I did? 2-3. It's just always 2-3. We do threaten, like, that we could cycle something and survive, you know? We threaten it. All right, they figured it out, but we did, because if we cycle something here, we go block, block, shrink, and we could technically survive. Yeah, magma spray. Tried to make him nervous, but they didn't buy it. Well, I'll try to have a good attitude about it, but I'm pretty bummed about my results in this format. I don't know. I like a format that is that has some fun police going on sometimes, but boy, every zig I get zagged, every zag I get zigged. Seems like whatever I'm doing is exactly the wrong thing to be doing against that opponent. Here we are, though, with time on our hands. What now? Got a couple wins on this account. We don't have... Maybe I'm going to go back to M21. But we'll start with a farewell to our buddies on that channel. You know, that website, that YouTube place. Thank you, YouTube friends, for watching yet another 2-win effort from me. I don't know. Am I missing something? Is it just how it's breaking? I don't know, but there you go. Another mediocre result. Bye, YouTube.